Have you been told your A1C is too high and you're running out of options to bring it down? What if something as simple as a daily cup of cinnamon tea could help lower your blood sugar and improve your A1C numbers in just a few months? I'm Dr. James Wilson, and in my 11 years of working with diabetes patients, I've witnessed how powerful certain natural compounds can be when used correctly alongside conventional treatment. Today, I'm going to share the science behind cinnamon tea, how to prepare it properly, and what realistic results you can expect based on actual research and real patient experiences. This isn't about replacing your medications, but about adding a simple, evidence-based tool to your diabetes management arsenal. Now, before we go further, I want to be clear about something important. Everything I'm sharing is for educational purposes and shouldn't replace advice from your own healthcare provider. Always consult with your doctor before adding any supplement to your routine, especially if you're taking diabetes medications. I remember when David, a 67-year-old retired electrician, came to my clinic with an A1C of 8.2%, despite being on metformin and making dietary changes. He was frustrated and worried about needing to add insulin to his regimen. After discussing his options, we decided to incorporate a daily cup of cinnamon tea into his morning routine, while continuing his medication and healthy eating plan. 3 months later, his A1C had dropped to 7.1%, and 6 months after that, we got it down to 6.8%. He told me that adding cinnamon tea felt like the missing piece of his diabetes puzzle. Let me explain exactly why cinnamon works for blood sugar control, because understanding the science will help you use it more effectively. Cinnamon contains several bioactive compounds, but the most important ones for diabetes are called polyphenols, particularly one called cinnamaldehyde. These compounds work in multiple ways to improve glucose metabolism. First, they enhance insulin sensitivity, which means your cells become more responsive to the insulin your body produces, or that you inject. Think of insulin as a key that unlocks your cells so glucose can enter. When you have insulin resistance, those locks get sticky and don't work as well. Cinnamon helps make those locks function more smoothly. Second, cinnamon slows down the breakdown of carbohydrates in your digestive tract by inhibiting certain enzymes. This means glucose enters your bloodstream more gradually, rather than causing sharp spikes after meals. Third, cinnamon appears to mimic insulin in certain ways and can activate insulin receptors on cell surfaces, essentially giving your body's insulin an extra boost. The research supporting cinnamon's benefits is quite substantial. A meta-analysis published in the Journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics reviewed 10 different studies involving 543 patients with type 2 diabetes. The researchers found that cinnamon supplementation significantly lowered fasting blood glucose levels by an average of 24 milligrams per deciliter. More importantly, it reduced A1C levels by an average of 0.36%. Now, that might not sound dramatic, but remember that every 1% reduction in A1C is associated with a significant decrease in diabetes complications. Another study from the Annals of Family Medicine followed 109 people with type 2 diabetes for 90 days. Those who took 1 gram of cinnamon daily saw their A1C drop by 0.83% compared to the control group. These aren't miracle results, but they're clinically meaningful improvements that can make a real difference in your long-term health. By the way, if you're finding this information helpful and want more evidence-based strategies for managing diabetes, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to James-Diabetes Expert and turn on notifications. I share practical, research-backed approaches every week that can help you take control of your blood sugar and live your best life with diabetes. Now let's talk about how to prepare cinnamon tea properly. Because not all cinnamon is created equal, and preparation method matters. First, you need to choose the right type of cinnamon. There are 2 main varieties available in stores. The first is Cassia cinnamon, which is the common cinnamon you find in most supermarkets. It's less expensive and has a stronger, spicier flavor. The second is Ceylon cinnamon, often called true cinnamon, which is lighter in color and has a more delicate, slightly sweet taste. Here's why this matters for diabetes management. Cassia cinnamon contains higher levels of a compound called coumarin, which can be problematic for your liver if consumed in large amounts over long periods. Ceylon cinnamon has much lower coumarin content, making it safer for daily use. I always recommend Ceylon cinnamon to my patients who plan to consume it regularly. You can find it at health food stores or online, and while it's more expensive than Cassia, the safety profile makes it worth the extra cost. To make cinnamon tea, take 1 Ceylon cinnamon stick, about 3 inches long, and break it into a few pieces to release more of the beneficial compounds. Place the pieces in a cup and pour about 8 to 10 ounces of boiling water over them. Let it steep for at least 15 to 20 minutes. The longer it steeps, the stronger the flavor, and the more compounds are extracted into the water. Some people prefer to simmer the cinnamon stick in water on the stove for 10 minutes for an even stronger brew. You can drink it plain, or if you find the taste too strong, add a squeeze of lemon juice or a very small amount of stevia for sweetness. Avoid adding honey or regular sugar, as that defeats the purpose of using cinnamon to manage blood sugar. The ideal time to drink your cinnamon tea is in the morning, about 30 minutes before breakfast, or in the evening before dinner. These timing windows help the cinnamon compounds get to work improving your insulin sensitivity before you consume a meal. One of my patients, Linda, a 59-year-old office manager with pre-diabetes, started making cinnamon tea every evening and drinking it before dinner, which was typically her largest meal of the day. She had been seeing fasting blood sugar readings in the 115 to 125 range, which had her doctor concerned about progression to full diabetes. After 8 weeks of consistent cinnamon tea consumption, along with moderate walking after meals, her fasting readings dropped to the 95 to 105 range, and her doctor was pleased to see she was moving away from the diabetes threshold rather than toward it. Here's something important I always tell my patients when they're starting with cinnamon tea. The effects are cumulative and gradual, not immediate. Don't expect to drink cinnamon tea today and see dramatically lower blood sugar tomorrow. The compounds in cinnamon need time to build up in your system and exert their metabolic effects. Most of my patients start seeing measurable improvements in their fasting blood sugar within 3 to 4 weeks of daily use. A1C improvements typically become apparent after 2 to 3 months, which makes sense because A1C reflects your average blood sugar over the previous 90 days. This is why consistency is absolutely critical. Drinking cinnamon tea sporadically when you remember won't give you the results you're looking for. You need to make it a daily habit, just like taking your medications. The amount of cinnamon that research suggests is effective ranges from about 1 to 6 grams per day. 1 3-inch cinnamon stick contains roughly 2 to 3 grams of cinnamon, which falls right in the therapeutic range. Some people prefer to make a larger batch of cinnamon tea by simmering several cinnamon sticks in a pot of water for 20 minutes, then storing it in the refrigerator and having a cup daily. This can be more convenient if you're busy and don't want to prepare fresh tea every day. Just make sure to use it within 3 to 4 days for optimal freshness and potency. Speaking of which, I share these kinds of practical, science-backed diabetes management strategies regularly on this channel. If you want to stay updated and get access to information that can genuinely improve your blood sugar control, please hit that like button and consider sharing this video with friends or family members who are dealing with diabetes. Knowledge is power when it comes to managing this condition effectively. Beyond blood sugar control, cinnamon offers several additional health benefits that make it particularly valuable for people with diabetes. It has potent anti-inflammatory properties, which is important because chronic inflammation is a key driver of insulin resistance and diabetes complications. Multiple studies have shown that cinnamon consumption can help reduce inflammatory markers in the blood. Cinnamon also has beneficial effects on cholesterol levels. The same meta-analysis I mentioned earlier found that cinnamon supplementation reduced total cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, and triglycerides, while increasing HDL, or good cholesterol. Since cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death among people with diabetes, anything that improves your lipid profile while also helping with blood sugar, is especially valuable. Additionally, cinnamon is rich in antioxidants, particularly polyphenols, which help protect your cells from oxidative stress and damage caused by high blood sugar levels over time. Now let's address some important safety considerations and potential interactions, because even natural substances can cause problems if used incorrectly. As I mentioned, Cassia cinnamon contains coumarin, which can affect liver function if consumed in excessive amounts over long periods. If you're using Cassia cinnamon instead of Ceylon, keep your intake to no more than 1 teaspoon of powder or 1 to 2 cinnamon sticks per day. If you have existing liver disease, discuss cinnamon use with your doctor before starting. Cinnamon can enhance the effects of diabetes medications, which means there's a potential risk of hypoglycemia or low blood sugar if you're taking insulin, or certain oral medications like sulfonylureas. This is why you absolutely must monitor your blood sugar closely when adding cinnamon to your regimen and work with your healthcare provider. Your doctor may need to adjust your medication doses as your blood sugar improves. Cinnamon may also interact with blood thinners like warfarin because it has natural anticoagulant properties. If you're on any blood thinning medication, check with your doctor before using cinnamon therapeutically. Some people experience mouth sores or allergic reactions to cinnamon, especially the Cassia variety. If you notice any mouth irritation, burning sensations, or allergic symptoms like rash or difficulty breathing, discontinue use immediately and seek medical attention. Pregnant women should be cautious with high doses of cinnamon, as it may stimulate uterine contractions, although moderate amounts used in cooking are generally considered safe. I recently had a patient named Thomas, a 64-year-old man with type 2 diabetes, who was taking glipizide along with metformin. He started drinking 2 cups of strong cinnamon tea daily without telling me first. Within a week, he experienced several episodes of hypoglycemia, with blood sugar dropping into the 50s, causing shakiness, sweating, and confusion. When we figured out what was happening, we reduced his glipizide dose and had him stick to just 1 cup of cinnamon tea daily. His blood sugar stabilized beautifully in the target range without the dangerous lows. This example illustrates why communication with your healthcare team is so essential. Let me share some common mistakes people make with cinnamon tea so you can avoid them. The first mistake is expecting cinnamon tea alone to control diabetes without attention to diet, exercise, and medications. Cinnamon is a helpful addition to a comprehensive diabetes management plan, but it's not a standalone solution. You still need to eat a balanced diet focused on whole foods, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats, while limiting refined carbohydrates and added sugars. Regular physical activity remains crucial for improving insulin sensitivity. Think of cinnamon tea as one valuable tool among many, not a magic bullet. Another mistake is using too much cinnamon, thinking more is better. Excessive cinnamon intake, especially Cassia cinnamon, can cause liver damage, mouth sores, and other adverse effects. Stick to the recommended amounts of 1 to 6 grams daily, which translates to 1 or 2 cinnamon sticks in tea form. Some people also make the mistake of adding lots of sweeteners to their cinnamon tea to mask the flavor, which completely undermines the blood sugar benefits. If you need a touch of sweetness, use a small amount of stevia or monk fruit sweetener, both of which don't raise blood sugar levels. Many people also give up too quickly when they don't see immediate results. Remember that natural approaches work gradually, and you need at least 4 to 8 weeks of consistent use to assess whether cinnamon tea is helping your blood sugar control. Let me give you a practical implementation plan that I share with my patients who want to incorporate cinnamon tea into their diabetes management routine. Purchase high-quality Ceylon cinnamon sticks from a reputable source. You can find them at health food stores, specialty spice shops, or online. Store them in an airtight container in a cool, dark place to preserve their potency. Each evening before bed, prepare your cinnamon tea for the next morning. Take 1 cinnamon stick, break it into pieces, place it in a thermos or heat-resistant container, and pour boiling water over it. Let it steep overnight. In the morning, you'll have a strong, ready-to-drink cinnamon tea. Drink it 30 minutes before breakfast. Alternatively, you can prepare it fresh each morning if you prefer. Check your fasting blood sugar before drinking the tea and keep a detailed log. Note the date, your blood sugar reading, what you ate the day before, your activity level, and any other relevant factors. After 4 weeks, review your log to see if there's a downward trend in your numbers. After 3 months, your doctor can check your A1C to see if it's improved. If you find the taste of plain cinnamon tea too intense or boring after a while, there are ways to make it more enjoyable without adding sugar. You can add a slice of fresh ginger for a warming, spicy kick that also has anti-inflammatory benefits. A few fresh mint leaves can provide a refreshing flavor. A squeeze of lemon juice adds vitamin C and brightness. Some people like to add a small piece of turmeric root for additional anti-inflammatory effects. You can also make a combination tea using both cinnamon and green tea, which has its own blood sugar benefits due to compounds called catechins. Just brew both together for a powerful metabolic boost. Beyond just the tea, you can also incorporate cinnamon into your diet in other ways to maximize its benefits. Sprinkle Ceylon cinnamon powder on your morning oatmeal or yogurt. Add it to smoothies along with protein powder, berries, and spinach. Use it in cooking when preparing roasted vegetables or sweet potato dishes. Mix it into almond butter or natural peanut butter for a spread that has blood sugar benefits. The more ways you can include cinnamon in your daily routine, the better your results may be, as long as you stay within safe intake levels. What I find particularly encouraging about cinnamon tea is how it empowers people to take an active role in managing their diabetes. So many of my patients feel helpless when they're first diagnosed, like their body has betrayed them and they've lost control. Having simple, accessible strategies like cinnamon tea that they can implement on their own gives them a sense of agency and hope. It's not about rejecting modern medicine, but about complementing it with evidence-based natural approaches that enhance overall outcomes. The cost factor is also significant. A bag of Ceylon cinnamon sticks might cost around $10 to $15 and can last you several weeks or even months, depending on how much you use. Compare that to the cost of additional diabetes medications, and you can see why exploring safe, affordable options like cinnamon tea makes sense. This is especially important for people on fixed incomes or those without comprehensive health insurance coverage. Diabetes management shouldn't be a privilege reserved for those who can afford expensive interventions. Everyone deserves access to tools that can improve their health outcomes. Before I wrap this up, I want to address realistic expectations one more time, because this is crucial for your success and satisfaction. Cinnamon tea will not cure your diabetes. It will not allow you to eat whatever you want without consequences. It will not eliminate your need for medication if your doctor has prescribed it. What it can do is provide meaningful support to your overall diabetes management plan, potentially helping you achieve better blood sugar control, possibly lowering your A1C by a clinically significant amount, and maybe even allowing your doctor to reduce your medication doses over time as your control improves. These are valuable, achievable outcomes that can improve your quality of life and reduce your risk of diabetes complications. You deserve to feel empowered and hopeful about managing your diabetes. The fact that you're watching this video and seeking out evidence-based information shows you're taking your health seriously. That mindset is half the battle. Cinnamon tea is a simple, safe, and scientifically supported tool that can help you on your journey toward better blood sugar control and improved overall health. Whether you're newly diagnosed or have been living with diabetes for years, it's never too late to add beneficial strategies to your routine. Oh, and before you go, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Are you going to try cinnamon tea? Have you already been using cinnamon for blood sugar management? What results have you seen? Drop a comment and let's build a supportive community where we share experiences and encourage each other. And if you haven't subscribed yet, Please subscribe to James-Diabetes Expert so you don't miss future videos with more practical, science-backed strategies for thriving with diabetes. Your health journey matters, and I'm here to support you every step of the way. Start tomorrow morning with your first cup of cinnamon tea. Be consistent, monitor your blood sugar, work closely with your healthcare team, and give it time to work. Small steps taken consistently over time create remarkable transformations. You've got this, and your future self will thank you for the positive changes you're making today.